Good evening, good night. Modern Oddity, where have you been? Where have you been? I ain't seen you in a long minute, except for maybe on Instagram. What's good with you? You know, this is a music related show, but today's topic is not going to be so fun. We're not going to have as much fun as we usually do. I promise you that. But stick and stay because we do have some news to talk about. We got some news to talk about. Happy Mac, what's good with you? Sorry if you could hear my background, the police riding by, or maybe it was an ambulance, I don't know. Welcome back to Lyrics and Levels, y'all. Did you miss me? Did you miss me? I missed y'all. I miss doing this show. I really, really do. I just been covering politics so much that Lyrics and Levels kind of took a little bit of a backseat, but not really. You know what I'm saying? I actually just, by the way, I just re-uploaded my NFL and hip hop video because it didn't do very well as a live video. I don't know if, the powers that be at YouTube weren't happy with the content or weren't happy with some of the songs that I played, some copyright issues or whatever, but I definitely re-uploaded it because that was one of my favorite Lyrics and Levels episodes. Not the favorite, but definitely one of my favorites, where I talked about how the NFL and the hip hop culture are so intertwined at this point that I can't tell the difference between the two on Sunday mornings, Sunday nights, Thursday nights, and Monday nights. There's so much hip hop going on during football games, and I talked about the songs that are played, and we did beat breakdowns and lyric breakdowns, and we did origin stories. That was a really fun show. So if you haven't seen it, please do check it out. I did re-upload it to see if maybe I could give it a little bump in the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? Because for some reason YouTube doesn't like me. But I like you, YouTube. I really, really do. Modern Oddity says, got a couple of nominations for Who's Next myself. Okay, that's what's up. Let me know. Let me know. But I'm happy to see y'all. I'm happy to see you, Happy Mac. I'm happy to see you, Modern Oddity. Most definitely. Definitely love having you in the space here with me. Unfortunately, we do have some serious business to talk about. You know what I'm saying? This is Lyrics and Levels and the Law. I renamed the show to Lyrics and Levels and the Law. Okay, you think about Prodigy, rock that when you think about NFL. This year, Modern Oddity, and this is what I talked about in that video. This year, I just, while I'm walking around the house and the football is playing on Sunday afternoons and Thursday nights, especially Thursday nights, I just took into account how much hip hop is played during NFL games. Just the most random companies, the most random commercials you can think of got like real old school heavy hip hop songs pushing the product. And and it just caused me to want to dig a little deeper. So like I said, I was really proud of that show. I thought it was a great show. I thought it was really informative. I put a lot of hard work into it and YouTube didn't like it. So I re-uploaded it and hopefully y'all will go and check it out. But today on Lyrics and Levels, y'all, I lost sleep over this last night. Literally, people say that as an expression. I mean, literally, I lost sleep over these allegations last night. I stayed up later than I was supposed to last night. As most of you should well know by now, if you are in this culture and in this community, you know that a name has been finally added to the Sean Puff Daddy Combs allegations. And when I say finally, I don't mean finally like, yes, like the Home Alone Kevin running around the city going, yes. I don't mean it like that. I am not celebrating this in any way, shape, or form. I think it's disgusting. I think it's weird. I think it's uncomfortable. I think it's awkward. I think it's unfortunate and all these things. You understand what I'm saying? Let me put my paralegal glasses on. Jenny Thong. Okay, Jenny Thong. I'm going to talk to you about Jay-Z in a minute. Joao Batista, hola mi amiga or mi amigo. Modern Oddity, tell me who your nominations is. I want to know. I can multitask. I can multitask. Talk to me. Cause we about to get into these allegations. I'm not about to keep y'all here all night. I really, like I said, these things, talking about this type of stuff. What's good with you, Duck? Thank you for stopping by Lyrics and Levels. My name is You Goddess. These things are not things that I'm happy and excited and looking forward to talking about, but they must be discussed. It is my duty to report these things to you. So I can't not do it, but that don't mean that I enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not happy about this at all. But we knew when we've been joking about Diddy parties our whole life. This is nothing new. This has always been a key, ha 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 type of thing because we don't really think about it in terms of like what's really happening or what could have probably really happened. We just look at it like it's a joke, kind of like R. Kelly likes young girls. It's a joke, right? But we don't really consider the seriousness of the crime. So let me start off by saying this first and foremost. Anything that I talk about today, unless it's R. Kelly because he's already been convicted, but I have my own feelings about the aura. I have my own feelings about the aura. But anything that I talk about today, we must know and understand and acknowledge immediately that everything is allegations. So therefore, everything is allegedly. So if I forget to say the word allegedly, just remember that no one has been convicted in this particular situation of a crime. These are allegations. So just remember that as we discuss. Jenny Thong says, why won't you get back to what I said? Okay, if they was your kids, you would not joke. Absolutely. Jenny Thong, listen to my words. Listen to my words. As a community and as a culture, there are certain things that are just known, quiet words that have been spoken amongst us. I don't know if this is, if this is your community, the hip hop R&B community. If you are in this community, you know what I'm talking about. And you know that we know that serious things are serious things. But there's also certain things that are just one of those things. And it's just sort of just this known thing that never gets talked about. And when it's talked about, it's in a key, ha, ha, ha type of manner. That doesn't mean that we don't take things seriously. That might be an awkward way of addressing a situation that we know is going on and there's nothing we can do about it. Nobody thinks that assault on a child is a joke. Nobody thinks that. And nobody would want that to happen to any child unless they're sick in their head. So let's get that straight. Let's get that out of the way. Modern Oddity says, unrelated to Diddy as far as I know, KRS-One and Eminem. Okay, this is unrelated. Them two are unrelated. We'll get back to that. Stick a pin in that, Modern Oddity. I appreciate you. But yeah, again, anything that I talk about today, starting right now and starting 5 minutes ago, are all allegations. We know that. This is all alleged, okay? But we've heard about the allegations against P. Diddy. He's tried to get out of jail 3 times, count them, 1, 2, 3 times, and has been denied every single time. Bail denied, bail denied, bail denied, bond denied, bond denied, bond denied. The judge is not letting him out of jail. He must stay in prison until his court date. When is his court date? In May of 2025. So he's got about 5 months to sit on this. Well, he's been locked up since October, but he's been trying to get out ever since. He's got about 5 months to sit on this and fight this. But in between time, we do know and we do understand that when it comes to Diddy parties and freak offs, we do know and we do understand that he wasn't doing this by himself. And we do know and we do understand that there were allegations and whispers and rumors and gossip about other celebrities, because who else is P. Diddy gonna hang with? He's not hanging with your local Stop and Shop, which is a grocery store in my area. I don't know if y'all got Stop and Shops where you live, but he's not friends with your local grocer. He's not hanging out with the school bus driver. He's hanging out with other top tier elite A-list celebrities. And we know this. That's not an allegation, that's a fact. So when they say, I'm going to tell you in a minute, Duck. So when they say that there were others, who are the others? We know that the others are going to be celebrities, big names that we know. Duck, today's episode of Lyrics and Levels. Hi, how are you? By the way, my name is You Goddess. What's good with you? Today's episode, if you didn't know, is about the bombshell that dropped last night, right when I was getting ready to go to sleep. That another celebrity's name, the first celebrity name, has been named in the P. Diddy trial, the P. Diddy allegations. And that name is, I don't think it gets any bigger than Mr. Sean Carter himself. I don't think it gets any bigger than Jay-Z. Name me a rapper bigger than Jay-Z and we could talk about it. Jay-Z's name has been revealed in this lawsuit. So let's talk about it. As we know, Diddy has about 25 cases against him right now. And we wonder why the judge won't let him out of jail. The judge is not letting him out of jail. But he's got 25 cases against him right now, 20 to 25 cases. And there's a lot of redactions and a lot of others and a lot of unnamed and names. And Sean Carter's name has been revealed. So the lawsuit that was filed by one of the women who's alleging assault by Sean Diddy Combs has been amended. It was amended and filed against Jay-Z. She added his name in the civil lawsuit, okay? Carter, who is Jay-Z, is the very first celebrity to be accused of this type of activity in connection with P. Diddy. Now, I'm choosing my words very carefully, so work with me, be patient with me, because there's certain things that I can say and certain things that I cannot say, okay? Whether I'm telling you in advance that things are alleged. Yes, I'm telling you all of this is alleged, but there's certain terms and words and crimes that I can say and certain things that I should not say on this public platform. So bear with me. And I think you get where I'm going with that. I am You Goddess. What's good with you? Yes, I am. In a statement addressed to CNN, Carter called the allegations heinous in nature and said, file a criminal complaint. If you think I did all of that, arrest me. But I'm sure Jay-Z knows. He's got lawyers all around him. Even if you're not well-versed in the legal field, have y'all heard of something, a little thing called the statute of limitations? How many of y'all have heard of the statute of limitations? Raise your hand. If you know what the statute of limitations is. That means you only have but so long. You only have but so long to bring charges against somebody in a criminal trial. So when Jay-Z says, arrest me, he can't be arrested. It's been 20 years. But can a civil suit be filed against him? Absolutely. So what's the difference between criminal and civil? A criminal trial is brought against you when the punishment is probably going to be jail. A civil lawsuit, when a civil lawsuit is brought against you, your punishment is going to be money, compensation. See the difference? So that's why criminal charges are not brought against Jay-Z. So Combs was indicted on charges of you know what, racketeering, conspiracy, prostitution, all kinds of little goodies. Landlord from Alabama says, what's happening? We had the diddler, now the jiggler. Oh my God. Not did someone come up with that yet, or did you coin that term? Because if you coined that term, you might want to tweet that out before somebody else snatches that up. Somebody else is gonna snatch it. If they ain't think of it yet, they're thinking of it now. You feel what I'm saying? The jiggler. Not the diddler and the jiggler. Good Lord. So who's R. Kelly? The Riddler? Oh my gosh. Um, 30. I said 25 lawsuits. He's got up to 30 lawsuits against him, and they're all civil. Majority. The woman who is identified as Jane Doe says that she was young when this happened, under 18. Under 18 when this happened. And she was, an activity took place against her by both Diddy and Jay-Z at the same time following the MTV Video Music Awards. So as we know, Combs was indicted on RICO charges. Yes, we know this. Yesterday, this woman alleges that she amended her lawsuit to add Jay-Z. Okay. And the reason why this happened, if you read between the lines, you will know the reason why they added Jay-Z is because there was some back and forth going on between Jay-Z's camp and the lawyer for these Jane Does who have allegations against Diddy. A lot of shit talking and back and forth going on between the two sides, to the point where I believe the lawyer on the victim side, the alleged victim's side, finally said, you know what, I'm not playing this game with you. I'm airing your name out. I'm not about to keep playing this back and forth game with you. Okay, if you get back to my last message, please, thank you. Jenny wants me to get back to her message. I see that you redacted a message, Jenny. I already addressed when you said if it was your kids, it would not be a joke. I already gave you a very well-versed answer there. What you think to Jay-Z, then say true, please. Okay, so I don't see anything else from you, Jenny. So let's just keep rocking. And if you have any questions or comments, I will certainly acknowledge you along the way. Fair? All right, let's go. So back and forth between the two camps, they finally was like, I'm showing my cards. The lawyer said, I'm showing my cards, and he did that. You know what I'm saying? So Carter is the first celebrity, Carter meaning Jay-Z, obviously, is the first celebrity to be accused in connection with this Combs mess, this Diddy do it mess. But the girl said she was so young, and it just makes me wonder, where was mom and dad? This is not to victim blame. This is not to victim shame. If anything, this is to further feel sorry for and want justice for the victims, because the victims should not be in these situations where this could even happen to them in the first place. And that's how I felt about the whole R. Kelly debacle as well. Such a shame that R. Kelly, the only one who went down for R. Kelly doing R. Kelly things, surrounded by people who all thought it was fine until it wasn't fine no more. I'm not okay with that. So this is not victim blaming. Please understand and know this. A young child like that shouldn't have been in this predicament in the first place, to even be able to say, I was there, even if she's lying. Even if all of this is just a ploy and a plot to try and make some money, she shouldn't have been able to even say she was there at that age. We got to figure that out. We hear this way too many times. But anyways, I'm not going to go into the details, the disgusting details of what she says happened. I think y'all could figure it out of what she says that happened. Something that stood out to me is that she claims during the her allegations that it was in a room filled with lots of other celebrities, and those names will be dropping soon, like the latest mixtape. Busby, the lawyer on the other side, is going to continue to drop names. I'm just surprised that he started at the top, because I don't think he gets any bigger than Jay-Z. I thought he was going to take his time, They call it a climax for a reason. They call it a crescendo for a reason. But he said, nah, I'm just going to give you my biggest play, Jay-Z. You feel me? So questions about claims by the unnamed accusers. The celebrity's lawsuit applauds Sean Diddy's accusers who have spoken out with their names attached to their lawsuits, but casts doubt on the ones who file as John Doe or Jane Doe, because there's men involved here too, by the way. So they make these allegations, but they don't put their name out. They get called Jane Doe or John Doe. That is to protect the victim. That's 1000% to protect the victim. And I think we can all agree that that's fair. Because when you have these type of allegations against someone who is well loved, a super duper celebrity like this, and you put your name out there, oh, you're gonna get hate mail, you're gonna get death threats, you're gonna get shit slung at your front door all day long. I don't think it's anything that could protect you. Landlord says he came up with it. Well, copyright that. Jenny says the above messages that want you get back to, goddess, please. Jenny, I'm sorry, but I read all of your messages, so just retype it. Just retype it, baby girl. So let's talk about it. Last month, a judge ruled that one of Busby's civil suits against Combs could not proceed with the female accuser filing with a fake name, stating that Combs has the right to defend himself by investigating the plaintiff. So shortly after that, when the John Doe status was denied, the accuser refiled her complaint and used her name. So in a way that kind of is saying like, oh, you thought I was going to just disappear because you wanted me to use my name? All right, well, I'm going to use my name then. I was trying to say John Doe, Jane Doe, because I wanted to be anonymous. But since you're saying you're not going to acknowledge my lawsuit unless I reveal my name, then I'm going to reveal my name. I think there's a little bit of strength to that. Because otherwise, if she was lying and didn't want anyone to know who she was, she would probably just disappear into the night like it never happened. Jenny wants to know, do I know what pay pig means? I don't know what that means. Why don't you tell me? I really don't. So that just goes to show with at least one of the accusers is not afraid and is not backing down and is not going nowhere. Okay. Busby explained that his firm initially filed cases anonymously in an effort to protect the safety of his clients, like I said. But he said that each of his 120 clients are prepared to testify and publicly reveal their name. Pay pigs are people who give streamers money like it's their kink, unrelated to this. Oh, I've literally never heard that term. I'm new. Y'all know, some of y'all that know me, that know you goddess, I'm a rapper and a poet. Okay, so doing these live streams, this is new to me. Live stream terminology, I don't understand and know. So you teaching me something. I don't know nothing about that. But if that's their kink, more power to them. My kink is getting this knowledge out to y'all. So let me continue. They think that if the person's name is revealed, that maybe they'll crawl back under a rock and we'll never hear from them again. But he's told every one of his clients that if we file this case, be prepared that your identity will be revealed. So if these people sign on with Busby to accuse Diddy of doing any of these things, they are prepared to reveal their true identity. They're going to at least at first file as a Jane Doe or a John Doe. But if the judge says you have to reveal your identity or I won't take your case, they're willing to do that. So I think that speaks volumes about how serious these victims, alleged victims, are and how strongly they feel about these cases and pushing forward with these allegations. It's amazing to me. Busby, remember, Busby is the lawyer for the victims. Busby says that he does not believe Combs acted alone in this alleged misconduct. And he said in a press conference last month that his clients had shared information pertaining to celebrities, entertainment executives, business entities, and other high-profile individuals that were complicit or engaged in Combs's alleged abuse. So when we saw that, that's when we knew more was coming. We knew more bombshells was on the way. We already knew that Combs wasn't acting alone anyway. But when the lawyer said this, we knew that he was preparing. He had more to come. There were more bombs to drop in the very near future, and one of them just dropped last night. My mods that are in here, just make sure that Jenny Thong is not going crazy in my chat, because if she is, feel free to remove her or let me know if I need to read that paragraph. I don't feel like reading that right now. So just let me know if that paragraph is in conjunction with what I got going on, or do she need to be maybe put on timeout? I'll leave that up to my mods. So who is Tony Busby? Who is Tony Busby? He is one of the most successful trial lawyers in Texas. In 2017, he represented the family of an oil rig explosion. In 2021, he represented at least 21 clients alleging you know what against NFL quarterback Deshaun Watson. Yeah, mods, I'll let y'all make the decision on that. In 2021, he also filed a $750 million lawsuit against rapper Travis Scott on behalf of 120 victims and those who died and were injured during the Astro World Festival crowd crush. Y'all remember that, right? 10 people died that day, y'all. 10 people died. Hey, Jenny, you don't I appreciate your apology. I accept your apology. Let's just stick to the topic at hand. You already educated me on a term that I was not aware of, and I appreciate that. And now we're going to get back to the allegations against Jay-Z. So this Busby guy obviously takes on very high, yes, he takes on very high risk cases. He takes on very popular cases against people with a lot of money. And this is one of the reasons why I believe Jay-Z called him an ambulance chaser. But we'll get to that in just 1 second. What is Diddy charged with? Do I need to remind y'all he's charged with RICO charges? Yes. And we know what that is, right? Racketeering. And why is it considered racketeering? Do you guys remember when we did the first video about all of this? We learned about RICO laws and racketeering, and how racketeering simply means that when you create a business and use the profits from that business to break the law, to break federal laws, that is constituted as a RICO charge. So they're basically saying that Diddy used his profits from Bad Boy and all of his other illustrious companies to do bad things and break federal law. We don't have to go into what his charges are because they're heinous, they're nasty. Look them up, but you guys know what they are by now. So let's talk about Jay-Z's response to all of this. He's been added. He's been officially added to this mess. He's the first one to be added to this mess. I knew that there were more names coming. I knew, we've been talking about how celebrities are out there right now today shaking in their boots. Who was at a Diddy party? Who was there? How long did you stay? What room did you go in? What rooms was you seen coming out of? We knew that this was coming. I just didn't know it was going to start like this. You know what I'm saying? And Jay-Z was well prepared, already had his statement. It's pretty long, but I'm going to read it to y'all. Because I think Jay-Z deserves to have his side told as well as the victim. Jay-Z's response: my lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter. Let me just pause right there. A demand letter written by an attorney, sent to another attorney, cannot be blackmail. That would be ridiculous. That would be preposterous. That would be illegal. So I understand that Jay-Z is in his feelings, but a demand letter is simply saying, these are my demands. It's not saying, if a blackmail letter would be, if you don't do A, I'm gonna do B. But a lawyer contacting another lawyer and saying, this is what's going on and these are our demands is not blackmail. Okay. From a lawyer named Tony Busby, what he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir. It had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whatever or whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? Pause. But we talked about this. The statute of limitations has run out on this crime. So Jay-Z, you can't be arrested. You can only be sued. The lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these types of theatricals. I have no idea how you have come to be such a deplorable human, Mr. Busby, but I promise you, I have seen your kind many times over. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine? Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity. My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends are surely to see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such a thing at this young age. It is unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and the human spirit. My heart and support goes out to true victims in the world who have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. You have made a terrible error in judgment, thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the projects of Brooklyn. We don't play these type of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theorists, fake physics, who believe the idiotic claims you have levied against me, that if not for the seriousness surrounding harm to kids, would be laughable. I look forward to showing you just how different I am. That's Jay-Z's response to the allegations. And, you know, he really went in. It doesn't sound like it was written from a lawyer's perspective at all. A lawyer's perspective would have been much more clean and neat. What's good with you, JV? B-boy, you already know what's up. Thank you for stopping by. We are discussing the unfortunate allegations against Sean P. Diddy Combs and Sean Jay-Z Carter. It's a tale of two Seans up in here tonight, JVB boy. I just finished reading Jay-Z's response to the allegations, and they sound very heartfelt and from his heart. They sound like he did not use a lawyer to write this response. It sounds like it came exactly from him and how he's feeling. And I appreciate that. He went to insults. Idiotic claims like that make me think he really got something to hide. Yeah. So here's the thing, Modern Oddity. I got two things to say about Jay-Z's response. I got two things to say about it. Number one, he was damned if he do, damned if he don't. However he responded to this, it was going to be damned if he do, damned if he don't. There was going to be people out there that were going to be on his side, and there was going to be people out there that was going to say, nope, he did it. And that's just how it's going to be no matter what he does. This was not your typical run-of-the-mill statement from a celebrity in regards to serious allegations. Usually, an attorney would have come out and made a statement. Jay-Z wanted this to come from him. He was going to be damned if he did, damned if he didn't, no matter what. So let's just get that out of the way. But my second response to his response is that I take it with a grain of salt. Because if I'm not mistaken, Diddy did the same exact thing. Did he not? Diddy had a statement just like this. I implore you to prove me wrong. I would never put my hands on a woman. I am not that type, and I will fight this to the end, and I will show you who I really am. My name is Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Love Combs. You will never be able to prove these things. And then that video came out. Thank you, Modern Oddity. And then the video dropped. And what happened after the video dropped, y'all? I'm going to rehab. I got a problem. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. It wasn't me. I was doing too much. Diddy did it. Diddy has an addiction. Diddy gotta go. Yeah, remember? So listen, I'm not saying nothing, y'all. I'm saying a lot and not saying nothing at the same damn time. Who am I? I don't know these people from a can of paint. Just remember that although this is an atypical response to such serious allegations, it's typical that he would deny it. What's he gonna say? Damn, yeah, my bad. Oh shit, yeah, 2000 MTV Music Awards. That's right. Yeah, we did do that. No. So you can take that response with a grain of salt. Of course he has to deny. Of course he has to deny. Yes, pity for yo, would you stop? Would you stop, landlord from Alabama? Pity for Diddy. Lord have mercy. So on Sunday, after Jay-Z came out with that statement, on Sunday, Busby responded right away. See, this is why I don't know. I'm not picking a side. I don't have feelings about this one way or another. Because one thing about Busby, he's not backing down either. He's making public statements. You understand what I'm saying? He's not saying, well, we'll just figure this out. I have nothing else to say. We'll see you in court. He's like, oh, you're gonna accuse me of blackmailing you, my guy? I'm a established, well-known, successful attorney. I don't play like that. So Busby says the alleged victim never demanded a penny from Sean Carter. Now, I find this so interesting because Jay-Z just said, I will not give you one red penny. You got the right one. What you thought? I was going to fold and just give you a whole bunch of money? But then Busby says, we never even asked you for any money. Who's telling the truth? Because why would Jay-Z say that if they never even asked for any money? Busby said all they did was reach out for mediation. Busby said his office reached out to Jay-Z's office and said, hey, look, I'm letting you know this is what's going on. I'm just letting you know this is happening. Okay? This is happening. How would you like to respond? Busby said he never asked for a dime. I mean, the truth has to come out eventually. I'm assuming the truth will come out in trial. But how could two men of this stature, of this status in life, of this elite nature, tell two completely differing stories? One a lawyer and one the biggest rapper in the world. The truth is going to have to come out eventually. We're going to see the demand letter. Release the demand letter then. When we see the demand letter, we'll know whether or not the attorney said, hey, if you just hit us off with a couple $100 million, I can make all of this go away. I'll make one phone call, make all this go away for a price. Now, if his letter says that, his credibility is going to be out the door. But if his letter simply said, dear attorneys representing Sean Jay-Z Carter, my client, Jane Doe, has just added your client's name to her suit against Sean P. Diddy Combs. And we are letting you know this is going to happen. How would you like to proceed? We would like to sit down and talk with you. Would you like to have a mediator? How would you like to discuss this going further? What would you like to do? That's normal. But if he said, hit us off with a couple $100 million and we'll make all this go away real quick, that's different. So we'll know in the end, won't we? Maybe we won't, because some of this stuff might be sealed under confidentiality. So maybe we won't. I'm not going to read this. I was going to read the allegations, but I'm not. It's nasty. I'm not going to do that. And it's talking about a child, and YouTube wouldn't like that. JV says, how good is that attorney, or who is this attorney connected to? Because is he only targeting types of individuals and not everyone? Good question. Well, JV, Tony Busby is the attorney behind the lawsuits that came out of the Astro World massacre. It wasn't a massacre, but I mean, 10 people died. So what do you call that? You remember when there was the lawsuit against Travis Scott? He was that attorney that represented those victims. So does he have and also he was the attorney that represented the victims, 21 of them that filed suit against Deshaun Watson. So obviously he has a reputation for representing victims in high-profile cases against high-profile defendants. Absolutely. But who else would you go to when you're a Jane Doe that's suing a high-profile client? Who else would you go to? You're going to go to your local lawyer with the billboard on the downtown billboard that you drive by every day on your way to work? Like, you're going to need a high-powered attorney to deal with high-powered things. So it makes sense that he's involved in these types of cases, because these are the types of cases he takes. I mean, you could call it ambulance chasing, but like I said, can your regular run-of-the-mill, when you go downtown in the city that you live in, and you got a regular run-of-the-mill personal injury attorney that's dealing with like car accidents and slip and falls, you gonna hire him to sue Puff Daddy? You gonna hire him to sue Jay-Z? No, you can't. They wouldn't. Jay-Z's attorneys and Diddy's attorneys would chew him up and spit him out. You need a Tony Busby in a situation like this. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, who's our guy? Ben Crump. Ben Crump, they call him an ambulance chaser too, because he only takes on those cases where unarmed black men were killed by the police. So when the police see him coming, they're like, oh God, here he comes. He's going to bring the NAACP. He's going to bring Al Sharpton. He's going to bring Black White Lives Matter all up and down the streets of our city. Just give these people some money. Please give these people some money. Quick. How much money we got in the kitty? Ben Crump is coming. You understand what I'm saying? When your son, knock on wood and God forbid, but when a black man gets shot and killed by a white police officer, I'm calling Ben Crump. That's who I'm calling. So that's why. I think it just makes sense. So let me see. JV says Ben Roethlisberger got off scot-free. Yeah. Come on now. You want to talk about that or you want to talk about this? What's goody? um Jenny's Modern Oddities talking to Jenny. Jahiki says, love you, girl. Keep up the good work. Speak into being. Thank you, Jahiki. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you stopping by. Robert Kraft seems to be good. Yeah, well, maybe he should have, maybe Tony Busby wasn't the one, but they all have their attorneys that they deal with that get them off of certain things. And they get off for certain things for certain reasons. There's a lot of people walking around free right now, JVB boy, that got some allegations against them. They got some allegations against them, but they never seen the inside of a jail cell. We could talk about it. You already named a couple of names. His name sounds like it's I don't know where I never, Busby literally sounds like, yeah, the name of a character in a movie or maybe even a cartoon, but that's his name. MTV Video Music Awards. The girl is a child and she was there. It's ridiculous. I don't get it. She should have never been there. So, Jay-Z's mad. And like I said, he said that if you think I did these things, then arrest me. He can't be arrested. Statute of limitations has run out. What else do I want to talk about? Carter, okay, he said that. So it was reported in November that an anonymous male celebrity filed a lawsuit against the Texas attorney representing the Doe, alleging he was the victim of an extortion scheme. So that was Jay-Z. So it was reported, but it probably went under the rug. It was probably off the radar a little bit because no names had come out yet. We didn't know who was who and what was what. So it was reported last month and I didn't see it. I didn't even know this happened. I didn't know this was going on. It was reported last month that a male celebrity said that he was a victim of extortion in the P. Diddy case. We come to find out that male celebrity was Jay-Z. I just find it interesting that the lawyer is using his name because he could have kept it under wraps, but obviously there's so much contention there and one side is accusing the other of so much wrongdoing that he thought it was best to just reveal the name. Let me just reveal the name. Because you're here accusing me of blackmailing you and trying to extort you for your money when all I'm trying to do is represent my victim. So since you want to go there with it, I'm telling the world that it's you. Period. Busby says that his firm was accused of shamelessly attempting to extort exorbitant sums from him or else publicly file wildly false, horrific allegations against him. Attorneys for the unnamed celebrity claimed further that Busby had threatened to unleash entirely fabricated and salacious allegations that included, the taking of somebody's personal, against their will. And Busby says, listen, I won't allow, this is a quote from Busby. I won't allow the powerful and their high dollar lawyers to intimidate or silence victims. If you are trying to hide your identity, and you claim you did nothing wrong, it doesn't seem very smart to take this approach. We will address this in due course. So as you can see, it does sound a little, that's what you're trying to do? I got you. Oh, that's what you're doing? It do sound a little threatening. Yes, but it's lawyer speech, is it not? He never once said, give us some money. He never once said, I'm coming for your kneecaps. He never once said, your family's in danger. You better take Beyonce and blue and red and purple, pack them all up and get them up out of there because we on our way. We ride at midnight. Like, he never said any of those things. So he's basically saying, if you think that your name and your status is going to make me and my victims go away, you're wrong. And Jay-Z in turn is saying the same thing. If you think that because you're trying to threaten me with a lawsuit, that you think I'm just gonna cringe and go away and give you some money, you got the wrong one. So they both basically saying the same thing. That's why none of us should form an opinion at this point. I mean, I'm not telling you don't form an opinion. Of course, you could form an opinion about what you think might have happened or what you think might be going on. But as you can see, none of us know. We don't know. And they both going at it. So it's for us to sit back and pop our popcorn and just watch. And of course, we should feel sorry for the real victims, as long as they're real, because we know that people lie. You know what I'm saying? We know that people lie, and them bad apples spoil the whole bunch, because there are real victims out there that have real cases and real things happen to them. But when you get people jumping on the bandwagon, trying to get a couple of dollars out of the situation, it makes their credibility go down little by little. And it makes their stories seem less and less believable. And that's not okay. You know what I'm saying? The case is uber developing right now, right before our eyes, Modern Oddity. So it's up to us to just take all of this information with grains of salt. That's all. Just take it with grains of salt. Because we don't know. When the last time you was at a Diddy party? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? So Combs' trial is going to be held on Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, 2025. The prosecution's case is set to last about 3 weeks, and the defense case will last around 1 week. Now, why is the prosecution case longer than the defense case? Is it because it's unfair and because it's all, you know, it's stacked against the defendant to go to jail? No, that's not what it is at all. The reason why the prosecution case take longer is because when you bring charges like this against somebody, it's up to the state. It's up to the prosecution to prove their case. Remember, when that man walks into that courtroom, he's innocent until proven guilty. So the prosecution has to build their case. They have to have a chance to build their case against him. And the defendant, all the defendant has to do is say, I didn't do it, and put a little sprinkling of doubt into the mind of the juror. Now, that's for criminal cases. Criminal cases is beyond a reasonable doubt or you're not guilty. Civil cases is a preponderance of the evidence. A preponderance of the evidence meaning it's more likely than not that Diddy did these things. Or it's more likely than not that Diddy didn't do these things. And then he would be found not liable. So big difference between criminal and civil, right? Just in case, just for those out there that needed to know this. So let's talk about statute of limitations. And then if y'all want to talk about this, let's talk about it. Otherwise, we'll wrap it up. We got a game tonight. You know what I'm saying? I should have put on maybe I'll just switch up into my Cowboys sweatshirt. Let's not talk about the Cowboys, y'all. We're a hot mess. We are a mess. Okay, we got a lot going on in the Cowboy space. So I need to jump up off of here so I can get my head in the game for the Bengals game tonight. I got to figure out where I want to be in life. We got to figure out who we are. Cowboys fandom, we need to have a meeting tonight before the kickoff. So I got to get up out of here. But it's still DC 4L all day, every day. New York law. The statute of limitations for reporting second degree, you know what, is 20 years. You have 20 years to report that crime. Why do they give you so much time to report this particular crime? And the crime that I'm talking about is that physical violation of your body, that crime, without saying the word. They give you 20 years to report that, okay? If you're a minor when it happened, they give you 20 years from the time that you turned 18. So if this happened to you when you were 12, do the math. You get 8 years plus the 20, right? I'm sorry, did I just say 12? You get 6 years plus the 20. That's how it works. And I understand this law. I get it. Why do you get so much time to report that particular crime? Why? When all the other crimes, you get like 1 year, 2 years, maybe 5 years, 7 years at the most. Why would they give you so much time to report that crime? And I would say the answer, one of the answers, this is not the, definitive answer, but one of the answers is because that particular crime, that 4-letter word, goes so underreported every day in this country, or probably all across the globe, but let's just talk about the United States. It's such an underreported crime. They just want to give people time to be able to come out and say it. You feel what I'm saying? It's one of the most, if not the most, unreported crimes. So you get 20 years, baby girl or baby boy, because it happens to men too, to come out and make these allegations, okay? The state legislature passed the Child Victims Act, which expanded the statute of limitations to give survivors more time to seek these criminal charges or sue their abusers. What crime do you think there's no statute of limitations? You can come 50 years later. What crime you think that is of all the crimes? Under the new law, this was under Governor Andrew Cuomo. This was signed in 2019. Survivors of you know what can pursue criminal felony charges until they turn 28. And they can file a lawsuit, a civil lawsuit for money and before they reach the age of 55. So in New York, and by the way, where did this happen? In New York. In New York. This is a New York law. This is not a United States federal law. This is a state law. Okay? Every state has their own methodologies. This is how New York deals with this crime. And this happened in New York. So the crime that has no statute of limitations whatsoever is what? Murder. Murder. You kill somebody, there's no, oh, it's been 7 years. Oh, well, I guess you get to just walk away. Maybe we'll catch you on the next murder. Maybe we'll catch you the next time. Nah, there's no statute of limitations for that. But there are statute of limitations for all the other crimes. And in New York, for this particular disgusting crime that we are talking about, you do get 20 years. So that's why you can say, in the year 2000, I was touched inappropriately. It's 2024. I want to sue. But wait, it's been 24 years. It's past the 20 years of statute of limitations. How come you get to sue? Oh, by the way, I was a minor when it happened. That's why. And I don't got to start, the clock doesn't start ticking until I turn 18. So that's why she can still sue, even though she was underage and it happened 24 years ago. A lot of people might say 24 years though. 24 years, bruh. But you guys, I know, I'm kind of right there with you, but you got to understand and remember, it's not easy for some of these victims to report this particular crime. It is one of the most, if not the most, underreported crime. So that's why. And like I said, I am not on anybody's side. Trust me when I tell you, do I know Jay-Z? Do I know Beyonce? Do I know Sean Diddy Combs? I don't know these people. I don't know what they're capable of. I do know this, where there's smoke, there might be a little fire. Now, when you see these massive lawsuits like this, usually you could take it one way or the other, right? One girl comes out and says, so-and-so touched me. If so and so was touching other girls, that might empower, or boys, I'm not leaving the men out. If so and so was touching other people inappropriately, viciously, and one person comes out and says it, that might just empower the other victims to say, oh my God, they did it to me too. He or she did that to me too. So you can look at it that way. Or, unfortunately, you can look at it the other way where someone comes out and they were legitimately, assaulted, legitimately assaulted. They come out and say, I was assaulted. And then here you go. Me too, me too. Oh, I was assaulted too. How much you going to give me? Now you're just ruining the whole lawsuit. You're ruining the whole damn opportunity to maybe bring someone down that is an actual predator. Me too, me too, me too. That Me Too movement was, okay. So do you get where I'm going with this? You picking up what I'm putting down? You can take it either way. It's either a great thing for Cassie to come out and say, I have been abused by this man. And then lo and behold, victims just started falling from the, ooh, there go another one. Like victims just started falling from the sky. Is it because they really were, or did they see it as a payday? We will soon find out. We will soon find out. I'm a staunch believer in what happens in the dark comes to the light, number one. And I'm a staunch believer in the fact that where there's smoke, there's a little fire. I'm a staunch believer in there's always a little truth in every lie. And I think I'm going to log off with that one because, man, I got to eat, I got to drink, and I got to get ready to watch some football. This was a very serious and very unfortunate lyrics and levels today, but I do appreciate those of you who stuck and stayed with me for the entire show, stuck and stayed with me, commented in the comments, asked me questions. By the way, did you like the video before you left? Make sure you do that. Make sure you subscribe for more content like this. You know, You Goddess the Poet is a little bit of a poet. She's a little bit of a rapper. She's a little bit of a political pundit. And I like to get some things off my chest. So guess what? I appreciate y'all, and I'm grateful to y'all for allowing me to be able to get this stuff off my chest. In the meantime, go Cowboys. Thank you for being back. I'm so glad to have you back, Modern Oddity. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Landlord from Alabama. Thank you, JV. My girl, Jenny, with the weird posts, and everybody else. Happy Mac, you were in here earlier. If you're watching on the replay, leave a comment and let me know. Peace and love, y'all.